If you got a hold of my wallet right now, it actually carries in my front pocket. It's got cash. It's got a debit card from my personal account, a debit card from my business account. It has my driver's license and my handgun carry permit, and that's all that's in there. I don't own a credit card. I haven't owned a credit card in 20 years. We tell people to live like no one else so that later they can live and give like no one else. Pay a price to win, and that's weird. It's not normal. When I was growing up, money was a part of our life from my earliest memory. My parents were entrepreneurs, and so the first time I wanted money to go to the local store, my dad said, "You need to have a job." And so I started cutting grass in the neighborhood, and by the time I was 12 years old, I had 27 yards to cut. We had junior achievement. Junior best be achieving something. When I graduated from college, I was broke. I met my beautiful wife, Sharon. We got married, and pretty soon I started buying and selling real estate, and I got rich, at least by a kid from Antioch, Tennessee standards. I ended up with about $4 million worth of real estate. Only I borrowed too much money, and we spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. And so by the time I was 28, I had been a millionaire, and I was bankrupt. As we went through bankruptcy, probably the feeling of failure, the feeling of dishonor, of not having been able to keep my integrity and pay my bills, that crushing of my soul, my self-esteem, was much harder than losing the stuff. My relationship with Christ and learning what the Bible says about money has impacted every part of my life. The truth is the truth, no matter whether you dress it up in Christian lingo or whether you call it grandma's common sense or whatever, however you look at it. Living on less than you make is something that pretty much everyone of every faith grasps. And yes, that's a biblical concept, but it's also a common sense thing. When we went broke, part of what happened was we had a I surrender all moment, and so I turned over every aspect of my life. Now, I was already a believer, but I mean, being pounded like that changed how we viewed it. And one of those aspects was handling money. And so we started finding out what the Bible said about money and doing it in our lives, and it started working. Well, on the radio, I always tell people, you got to live on rice and beans, beans and rice. You got to live on broke people food, whatever broke people food is for you. For us, when we were broke and trying to dig out, it was tuna fish. My wife would make a tuna fish sandwich, and I would take it to work, and it would sit in the refrigerator all day, and then I would get it out at lunch, and it would be tuna fish, and it would be soggy. And so to this day, I can't stand tuna fish. When I smell tuna fish right now, my net worth goes down. I can't stand it. The worst financial decision I've made in the last several years, I bought an expensive watch, and I hate the thing. It won't keep time. It's a big name brand. I won't trash the name brand. And everybody's impressed when you've got it on, and it's a really, really nice watch. And I've been trying to sell it. I can't get rid of it, and it's just never been right. It was bad. It's a bad idea.